David with Media Unlocked.
And I'm Bill with Media Unlocked.
And who do we have right here, Bill?
She just wandered in off the street. I have no idea who she is.
Absolutely beautiful. I
Yes,
wish more
she
women
is.
would wander off the street in here.
I think her name is Heather Nicole.
Yeah.
She is a model, a singer, a multi-talented individual.
Extremely talented.
Extremely beautiful.
Do you have an Instagram? You have an Instagram, don't you?
I do.
Well, would you like to let our followers know your Instagram if they want to follow you along?
At Heather Nicole Soprano.
Okay. And
I could point out the soprano is real. She's an opera singer.
So Heather was nice enough to come in tonight because we're going to be testing out the Sony A7R III. We wanted to see how it did in the studio. One of the things being how well the Metabones works. Is it going to focus fast enough and sharp enough when we're actually taking pictures versus how the camera itself, the Sony A7R III, actually works with its native lenses in the studio to see what kind of shots we can get. We're going to have a couple different setups.
Yep.
So 2 or 3 different backgrounds.
A couple of different backgrounds, a couple of different looks. Paul was nice enough to bring in some lenses for us.
Yes.
So we have some different lenses tonight, other than the one that B&H sent us,
Right.
which is a wonderful lens.
Yes. So we want to see how it works with the Metabones, and we wanted to see how well it worked with its native lenses in a studio environment, because both of us are professional photographers. We're both hardcore Canon lovers, and up till recently, we probably would have taken Nikon over Sony. So we're really excited.
Wash your mouth out with soap. No, that's not going to happen. Now, we've got a lot of gear here tonight. We are playing with pro photos. We've got the new A1 that David's got on the Sony right now. We're shooting with the B1X, which is right over there on a big 7-foot parabolic umbrella, which is going to... we're not going to be able to find a shadow by the time we're down here.
That's the idea.
So...
All right, well, why don't we start shooting? Because
I
know
think we
she's
should,
ready
'cause
to.
she's getting bored.
Yeah, she is.
She's gonna kick us in.
Let's get started.
We should start. How are the Metabones working out?
The Metabones is not working bad. It's working much better than the Sony A7R II. Something that I have noticed, especially with some of these heavier lenses, we use the Tamron 70-200 2.8, and I'm using the 24-70 Tamron 2.8. With these heavier lenses, the Metabones can disconnect and not allowing you to focus right. So what you have to do is you've actually got to pull the Metabones off, and you don't have to pull it all the way off, but you have to pull it out a little bit and then click it back into place. And then sometimes you have to pull the lens and click the lens back into place, which is a little bit frustrating. That's something that happened with the Sony A7R II, and it's happened twice to me so far tonight out of, I would say, about 100 shots. As well with the Tamron 70-200 2.8 that was their first version, and it has their VC, so it's pretty much like the IS for Canon. It focused pretty well. But with this 24-70, it's really slow in the focus. So it's doing a lot of hunting and looking for our model, and it's a little bit on the frustrating part. It's just very slow. But with the 70-200, I was pretty impressed, and we were able to get, let's say I take 10 to 15 shots. I'm only getting 2 or 3 of those out of focus. So that's frustrating if this was your native lens on a camera, but you're using a third-party adapter on a camera to use lenses that is used for a completely different camera.
Now, I just have one other question for you. Is that my lens you just stole?
It is.
He stole my lens again. David, so what are your conclusions so far?
So we have used a Sigma, a Tamron, and a Canon lens. The Sigma Art 50mm works really well with the focusing out of all of them. It's done the best with the Metabones.
He stole that from me again, too.
What can I say? Bill has some nice lenses. The thing that's the most upsetting is the focusing option. So I'm doing a lot of focusing. The best focusing zone so far, or focus area, is going to be the center focusing area in the A7R III. The issue with that is when looking through the viewfinder, I am not actually able to use the toggle on the back of the camera to actually pick where I want my focus points to be. So I either have to move my camera to find that focusing point, or I have to come out here and hit the touch screen, and then that should be exactly where I want my focusing point. So the other option is to go into expandable flex spot, which allows me to pick my focusing point or hit the eye piece so that it will focus on the eye. but it does not hit focus as often. I would say 20 to 30% of the time it's tack sharp. Where with the center focusing, I was seeming to be able to get closer to, I would say 70 to 90% of the time, I was getting a tack sharp shot. So that is a little bit of a frustrating thing with the Metabones, that I have to go into this expand flex spot so that I can kind of pick my focusing point easier versus being in the center zone where I have to hit it on the back of the camera. Again, when you're in center zone, you can hit the back piece to do the eye, but it just doesn't seem to hit. When you're using that back eye piece, it seems to not hit as well if I was just doing the center focusing.
And what about the speed, David? How about the speed of the autofocus?
So the speed of the autofocus is pretty good when it hits, but it does do a lot of searching, so it can go back and forth. Let me put this lens completely out of focus and let me go through. All right, and I'm actually going to go into the flex so I can make sure I get her eye exactly how I want it. So I'm going to pick her eye, and we are completely 100% out of focus, and that's how fast it did.
That was fast.
And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and check this shot, and I'm actually going to see if it's tack sharp, and it is tack sharp. So that took probably less than a second to focus. But again, if you're doing that with the center, like I said, I can hit quite a high percentage. With the eyepiece or the flex zone, I'm hitting probably under 50% of those are going to be in focus, even though it's that fast on the focus.
See if it works better with a modeling light.
Man, those eyes are amazing. So I just looked into the viewfinder, and it's just her eye, like, right in the viewfinder. And I'm just like, wow, that thing is sharp. So one of our gaffers, Charters, who actually is part owner in the studio that we're using tonight, thank you very much, Charters, for letting us use it. We turn on the modeling light to see if the focus would work a little bit better. And we're finding that in lower light situations, it is harder with the Metabones for the Sony to get the focus. But we just did a series of pictures with the modeling light, and we found that it does hit focus on the flex spot, which is the one I was having trouble with earlier. It hits focus more often, a higher percentage of the time, when we have more continuous lighting hitting the model, so there isn't any low light issues. We had a great night shooting with the beautiful Heather. She was awesome. We were supposed to do some actual photos afterwards outside the video, and we ran way too late, but she was really cool about it.
You're going to come back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's all that matters to us as long as she comes back.
Because she's a Disney princess.
She is. She's amazing. We figured that out today. Her links to her social medias and Instagram stuff will be down below, so you guys can click on that and go check her out. Follow her, like her.
She is a fantastic
all the cool
model.
stuff. Do that
Absolutely
for her.
Fantastic.
So, just in conclusion, real quick, the Metabones adapter works really well compared to the A7R II, but it still did have some focusing issues. It wasn't as fast as we'd like it to be. Using native lenses, it did focus super quick, but we did find out that using higher quality Sony lenses, like this 24-70 Zeiss f4 versus the regular Sony G 85mm 1.8, the 85mm 1.8 was way too soft versus this 24-70.
Well, it's Zeiss.
Right, and so it's a higher quality.
Yeah, it's Zeiss.
And then again,
and the Sigma Art.
Yeah, your Sigma Art for the Canon mount that we
Right.
put on the Metabones, again, super tack sharp. So higher quality lenses do matter with this body big time. I mean, it matters with any camera body. But
It's all about the glass, man.
But so the big difference from the Metabones over to the native lens is that the native lens is gonna focus way quicker. Versus the Metabones, it doesn't focus as quick, but it is still really. It's less than a second to 2 seconds. It just may not always be in focus.
What, the difference between 8 stars and 9 stars?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it just may not always be in focus. So you may miss that one shot that you needed, and it may be out of focus. Where with native lenses, it's going to work just fine.
Yeah.
The other thing that we discovered today is that you can put Canon or Nikon mounted flash triggers or flashes, and it will work. The TTL does not work, but of course, Sony's not going to be able to talk to those native or to those Canon or Nikon.
Well, ProPhoto is only Swedish.
Yes, exactly. So. But it is really cool that I can put my Canon flash or my Nikon flash or my triggers for those, and it works just fine. You just don't have that TTL option. We are going to be doing a review on the ProPhoto A1.
Just came out. We just picked this up borrowed it from a friend. Hi, Charters. Thanks. Toyman picked up the A1 today. And we're going to be doing a video here on the A1 as soon as we can get our hands on it from our friends at B&H. And I think that the A1 is the greatest thing to hit OCF, off-camera flash, since they invented OCF. And I can't wait to get my hands on it and play with it. I only wish that this one spoke Canon. It only speaks Nikon and apparently
Right.
Sony.